I don't know if I'm right, but after the show, maybe I will ask him. I welcome Mr. Adedipupo Laoye. David, you're most welcome.
Thank you, madam.
The program. He is the managing partner, ADL Professional Services, managing director, Vitkas Atmos-Safe Energy and Utilities Development Limited. It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's a pleasure.
Mr. Laoye.
Thank you, madam.
All right. Okay, let's set the ball rolling this way. We're looking at planning a family budget for the year 2026. If we look deeply into that phenomenon, planning and family, how did these two different variants connect?
Okay. Thank you so much. Planning a family budget, just as the topic said, planning is a process that involves setting things in order, arranging based on things that are more important in terms of priority. Now, if you bring in a family as an institution, you now know that a family that plans is a family that will survive, especially in this 2026. It's not a function of maybe the volume of what you have, but how you are able to plan it diligently that will determine a family that will be successful in 2026.
Okay. Aptly put, planning is essential. So let's now look at the nuggets that are important in ensuring that planning a family budget for the year 2026, did not just come to light, but at the end of the year will be a success story.
Yeah.
So what are those steps that the family is, supposedly to take in seeing the light of the day?
Okay. Thank you, madam. So let's start with what is even a family budget. Now, a family budget simply shows where the income of the family is going, what are the things they want to expend those monies are coming on, and what are they going to save, and what are they going to invest. Those are the four critical elements in terms of a family budget. One is the income, the expense head, the savings, and the investment. Now, I tell people more often than not, it is like I said, it is not the size of what you earn, but how much you are able to structure and plan, because money is always on an assignment. If you don't send money on an assignment, if there is no budget, the money will go to chances. Now, for every family, there are critical expenses that they need to take care of. And I said the most important thing are the needs, not even the wants. The needs for a particular family will be the rent, if they don't have a house of their own. And if they have a house of their own, if it's on mortgage or a loan, the rental payment for those, the interest expense, and the repayment for such loans. Even if it's the house of their own, they still need to pay for some service charges on those houses. So rent is important. The second one is the education for their children, which is the school fees. Those are basic needs. Then the food must be taken care of, because the body is important. We are not spirits. If you don't take care of the body will break down. So there should be a provision for the food. Then health. I'm happy with what the government is doing. Most everybody now have health insurance scheme, which is good. But for those, even if you have health insurance, you still need to pay for those insurance schemes. If you are not if you are not an employee. So even if you don't have, you also need to create something aside for health in case it happens, because we're all human beings. Those are the four critical expense head for those that are needs. Then it now goes to lifestyle. Lifestyle should be minimal. I always advise people that your basic needs should be like maybe 50%. Then maybe lifestyle 10%. You can't take it out of us, Nigerians. So lifestyle funding is also key.
Culture.
Yeah. So lifestyle spending maybe 10. Then you also save 20. Like I tell people, you should also treat your savings as a bill, as an expense. Because if you want to save after what remains, nothing will remain. So savings should also be something that is critical, that you also treat the way you are treating those needs. So 20%, then depending on your cash flow, you can also put between 10 to 20% aside for investments. Because you cannot eat with your 10 fingers. There's anybody that even physically you can't eat with you have to keep something aside. So you also save 10% for the future. Because what happens is, if you don't save for that future, like I tell people, savings for the future is not to make you rich, but it's to save you from disappointment and disgrace. Because when it happens, you might not quickly see anybody that can save you from emergencies, and emergencies can happen.
Anytime. It's like, securing your future.
Yeah.
Yes, by investing, deliberately in that future that you're yet to see. So you said it really doesn't have to do with your income, not as fat as we may desire, whatever comes into your hands, but can as little as 60,000, 70,000 per month still invest, and also at the same time, have a reasonable breakdown of all the needs that you mentioned.
You see, regardless
I want us to be really practical
we'll be very
now,
practical.
because
we'll be very practical.
it's one thing to be theoretical,
and
in practical terms, it becomes, an unachievable means.
You see, we'll be very practical. The main thing I advise is pencil down all your expense profile. Write it down.
Write it down.
Write it down. No matter whatever you can, write it down. Even no matter, just get somebody, even if you cannot write, get somebody that can write it for you. Write it down. It is not the size of what you earn that determines. Budget is important regardless of whatever you earn. Both low income, irregular income earners, regular income earners, high income earners, you must all budget. When you pencil it down, you pick 70,000. I can tell you as even low as 50,000. When you budget, the essence of budgeting is even the discipline. It creates a consciousness of discipline in you that, what I'm going to have for this whole month is 50,000. Then how am I going to do it? When you budget, you now begin to see advantage, how you can even renegotiate, how you can take advantage of some of the schemes that we have around. Maybe you join people to buy some things together in bulk and take advantage of those discounts. Okay, if it's 2,500, you want to be saving every month in an investment, even if it's 10,000, if it's contribution you want to be doing. So once you put that budget in place, it will guide you on how you can plan that expense within what you have.
Okay, so a whole year is a long stretch, and now we are counting already. It's day 4. So now, at what point should a family, come together and do a review? Who are the, what are the components that family members should consider in achieving this reviewable financial budget?
Okay, so budget is, for you to keep a budget alive, it has to be reviewed periodically. You don't just prepare a budget for 1 year. Okay. So it depends on the family size, it depends on their income size, but I advise at a minimum, you must review those budgets on a monthly basis.
Monthly basis?
Monthly basis. But it must be reviewed on a monthly basis. It must. But if there's time, it's something that can also be reviewed on a weekly basis. For a family that is just starting and they create a 1 year budget, I even advise they can even start with a 6-month budget. For a family that is doing it for the first time, they can start with a 6-month budget. And you see, the main thing about budget for family is the communication. Once there's a communication between the two spouses, they communicate, this is what I'm earning, and transparency and honesty. This is what I'm earning, this is what B is bringing to the table, and they are able to decide and communicate regularly about it. Because at times we are in a season of rising cost of things. So it's good for family to sit down and plan and be structured. The income must be structured. Once they plan and put things in pencil, write it down, and they can plan and communicate adequately. But budget must be reviewed periodically. Periodically.
You talked about transparency.
Yes.
Those are the, I won't have, done this without mentioning transparency. Many spouses, as we have seen or heard, a lot of, unions have gone down the drains because of that. And many don't even trust one another when it comes to finances. What should the, unions, what should spouses do to ensure that they stay true? You also mentioned they stay true to their plan as for a budget for the year, and also how can this unplanned spending be curtailed to ensure that this planning exercise, the whole exercise, becomes a dream fulfilled.
See, the major problem in family is not really the money, it's lack of communication and lack of transparency. Now, if they communicate regularly and they are sincere to the purpose, you see, when you have a budget, it doesn't have to be cast in stone. There can be flexibility. They can vary some things as the need arises or as situation changes. But once there's communication and sincerity between both spouses, then they can overcome those hurdles. Now you talk about sincerity. Once they are all sincere and they know what they are bringing on board, and you see, once you want to even start a budget, it has to be defined. What is the essence? What are the goals? What do you want to achieve? We want to achieve peace in this family. We want to achieve stability. We don't want to see shame. We want the children to be able to go to this school. You want children. And once both parents know what they are going, you are not sending your children to a school where you need to pray to be able to pay the school fees. And I tell people, you don't budget based on other people's income, based on your sister or your uncle or this one, no. Or you don't compare, my children must go to the school, this one is going, no. Go to the school that you can afford based on your income. And if you need to support with lesson teachers or add-on or internet for them to be able to learn self, support them with it. And also, it's not
than going for the high, class schools.
And so even the feeding pattern and everything needs to be budgeted based on what they are earning at the moment. It's not what you are hoping for. It has to be a realistic budget.
As realistic as possible. And as transparent as possible also as the union. Now, in all this, do the children have a stake?
Yes.
And what role are they expected to play?
Now, it's good for, you see, it's good for children to be part, especially as they are coming into the teenage years. Okay. You need
teenage years, so we have to wait till they get to
you don't have to. You don't have to wait until you get to teenage years.
Please.
Even
please
from
be explicit.
Even from age 5, 6.
Okay.
Regardless of the religion, you need to, if they are going to the mosque, maybe there's something they can't. I'm a Christian, so but I'm sure if there are contributions they give, if you give them, there's a sense of responsibility you create in them. If you give them, as you give them offering, they go to church, or even as you go out with them for a small shopping, you can understand and say, okay, this 2,000, 1,000 is for you. See how they spend it. Let them see you, because children learn by observation. If they are going out today now, the budget for this outing is 10,000 naira. And they see that I've said the budget for this outing is 10,000. And see that you're not expending even more than that 10,000. They begin to learn, that consciousness begin to come into their awareness. And they begin to learn. And you also put them into part of that discussion as a family when you are reviewing the budget on a weekly basis or monthly basis, as the case may be. They begin to learn. They learn by observation.
They learn by observation. So as much as possible as parents, we should teach, don't just talk, also act, so that the children can learn. All right, gbogbo atotono tí a ti ń ṣe ní àtàtàárọ̀ ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì, àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ àlejò wa pàtàkì, wọ́n máa ti ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àlàyé ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. Wọ́n ti múra, wọ́n ti gbáradì ní tòótọ́ láti bá wa sọ ní èdè àbínibí. Mr. David Laoye, I welcome mo kí yín káàbọ̀. Okay, èmi náà wá tún fẹ́ sọ Yorùbá èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì, ṣùgbọ́n abala ti èdè àbínibí ni a wà báyìí. Mo kí yín káàbọ̀ ní ẹ̀ẹ̀kan sí. Ẹ ṣeun tí a pè yín tí ẹ sì jẹ́ wa. Ṣé àlàáfíà ni ilé wa?
Àlàáfíà ni ilé wa mà.
Àdúpẹ́. Ẹ jẹ́ kí a bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí. À ń wo ètò ìṣúná nínú ẹbí. Kí ni ètò ìṣúná? Àti pé báwo ló ṣe pàtàkì sí nínú ẹbí?
Ètò ìṣúná owó ó ṣe pàtàkì nínú gbogbo ẹbí, because bó bá ṣe ìnáwó nǹkan owó tó wọlé àti owó tó ń ná àti tó máa save for the future. They need it has gbogbo ẹ̀ need láti plan everything, láti ṣètò gbogbo ẹ̀, because tí o bá ṣètò owó yẹn kàn máa ná sí nǹkan tí ò ń ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ kó ná sí. But tó bá ti ṣètò pé okay, iye báyìí ló wọlé o, iye báyìí la máa fi sanwó school àwọn ọmọ, iye báyìí la máa fi sanwó rent ilé, iye báyìí la máa fi jẹun, ó máa jẹ́ kówó yẹn kó lè yọjú.
Kó ní tí a bá ti fi orúkọ pé àwọn nǹkan tí a fẹ́ ṣe, ǹjẹ́ ó tiẹ̀ máa fún ilé ní ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀? Ẹ jẹ́ ká wò láti bẹ̀. Àti pé tí àwọn tó jẹ́ ọ̀tún àtòsì, gbogbo àwọn tó yẹ kó jẹ́ olùṣàkóso, tí wọ́n bá ṣe òótọ́, kí ni èrè fún ẹbí?
Owó ní gbogbo everything. ó wà lára nǹkan tó máa fi ọkàn gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tó jára lé balẹ̀, ọkọ àtìyàwó àtọmọ, tí ètò ìṣúná owó tó bá ṣe òtótọ́ nínú bó ṣe máa ná àti bó ṣe wọlé, everybody dẹ̀ mọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀, tí ò sí nǹkan tó parọ́ tàbí nǹkan tó ń fi kan pé kan, tó ń fi kan pamọ́ tàbí tó ń fi kówó nǹkan tó fẹ́ rà, tó ń fi kówó ilé ìwé nǹkan tó fẹ́ rà, no. Gbogbo bá ṣòótọ́ ó máa fi ọkàn everybody balẹ̀ nínú ilé.
Òtítọ́ ló ṣe pàtàkì. Gbogbo àná la ti ń gbọ́ o wípé ká ṣòótọ́ tó bá di ti ètò ìṣúná owó nínú ẹbí. Ǹjẹ́ àwọn ọmọ gan ṣé òbí lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ àti pè wọ́n sí pé ẹ wá o ẹ̀yin ọmọ a fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan báyìí, ṣó lẹ́tọ̀ọ́, ṣó yẹ kí wọ́n sọ fún wọn?
Òbí ní láti pe ọmọ sí àti kékeré àtàgbà, because ẹsẹ̀ iwájú ni tẹ̀yìn wò. Nǹkan tí bàbá àti ìyá ń ṣe làwọn ọmọ máa wò fi ṣàkóso táwọn náà bá dàgbà. So láti kékeré ló gbọ́dọ̀ ti máa tọ́ wọn sọ́nà pé bó ṣe ń ṣe ìnáwó, bó ṣe ń ṣe ìdúná owó ni. So wọ́n ní láti máa wà níbi tó bá ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ owó yẹn, àwọn ọmọ náà ní láti máa wà níbẹ̀ láti máa kẹ́kọ̀ọ́, kọ́ dẹ̀ máa wo báwọn òbí wọn ṣe ń ṣe.
Ẹ sọ nǹkan kan ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì, kí èèyàn kàn máa ná owó láì nídìí. Àwọn ẹgbẹ́ mi ra gold kan náà dẹ̀ ń rà ń sìn, ó yẹ kémi náà bá wọn ni. Bóyá mo ní plan fún àbí mi ò ní, màá kíwọ́ bowó, màá rà á. Àwọn nǹkan kan náà wà tí èèyàn ò tiẹ̀ rò, bóyá èèyàn kàn kọjá lọ ní ọkàn wo pé ó yẹ kí n rà, ó yẹ kí n ní kinní láì kò tiẹ̀ dẹ̀ ní ìdí fún, wàá kàn kọ́wọ́ bowó, wàá rà. Ǹjẹ́ ó ní ẹ̀tọ́ fún ẹbí, àgàgà ẹbí tó jẹ́ oníṣẹ́ oṣù?
Kò ń ṣe gbogbo aṣọ pàtí lèèyàn máa rà tàbí nǹkan tí lágbájá ṣe.
Ṣùgbọ́n tábí bá wá ní pé bó bá rà ó máa wàhálà máa ní tó bá rà, ó máa ṣe dandan, ó máa ṣe pàtàkì kó nínú ẹ̀, wọ́n á ní ẹjẹ́ nínú ẹjẹ́ àjọ ni. Kí wá ní kéèyàn ṣe?
Ẹbí ò mọ bí èèyàn ṣe tó. Wọ́n mọ ibi tí bàtà ti ń tàyàn lẹ́sẹ̀, ẹni tó wọ bàtà ló mọ tí bàtà ti ń ta lẹ́sẹ̀. Èèyàn ló mọ iye owó tó yàn ní, so o gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe jura ẹ lọ, because tí wọ́n bá ti ṣe jura èèyàn lọ, àbùkù àtẹ̀tẹ̀ ló máa dà lọ́rọ̀ owó náà dé.
A ó má bàa di bẹ́ẹ̀ ká ṣe ètò ìṣúná owó wa bí ó ṣe yẹ. Fún ẹni tó bá ṣe bó ṣe yẹ, àsìkò owó ló yẹ kí wọ́n máa pera wọn jókòó láti sọ wípé ó dá báwo láti ẹ̀ ṣe sí láti ìgbà tá a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀.
At least lọ́sẹ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ tàbí lóṣooṣù wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ jókòó kọ́ dúnàdúnà kọ́ rò ókè nǹkan báyìí láti ṣe, nǹkan báyìí láti ṣe, báyìí la ṣe báyìí la ṣe kílé, eléyìí tá máa tún ṣe ni, eléyìí tá ṣe dáadáa, eléyìí tá ṣe dáadáa ni.
Ok, wọ́n á lè mọ ibi tó yẹ kí wọ́n ti ṣe àtúnṣe, ibi tán bá náwó sí tó jù, wọ́n á lè mọ bọ́n ṣe máa fa ọwọ́ ẹ̀ sẹ́yìn. Ẹ ṣeun, àdúpẹ́ gan-an nítorí pé ètò ìṣúná gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ ṣe sọ, orílẹ̀-èdè, ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ gan-an wọn kì í ṣaláì má máa ṣe ètò ìṣúná owó fún ọdún. Tí ọdún yìí báyìí sí gbogbo àgbáńlá ayé ni wọ́n ti ṣe ètò ìṣúná wọn. Now, let's consider this. We have this new tax reform. A lot of anxiety came with it. What benefit will a family that's able to plan and review periodically benefit from this major tax reform in the country?
Okay, thank you so much, madam. Now, the impact of the tax reform on the family budget is in the following lines. One, the family must budget on net income now. Gone are the days when you now begin to budget, oh, this is the entire, no. You need to budget on the net income.
I want you to break down that net income.
Okay, net income means, for example, if you are a salary earner, you need to review your pay slip and see what is the actual amount that is coming to me, not your gross salary. After all deductions, all the tax expenses. That's one. Two, is that you also need to be conscious that most of the items we'll be buying now, VAT will be included. So there will be high cost of living, even though we'll still reap the benefit afterwards as the infrastructure begins to develop. But in the immediate, there will be high cost of living. So that's something we also need to be conscious of. And because of that, ignorantly, we're also going to experience inflation, because many people are clamoring there's tax. So people might gradually want to increase the cost of their items, which is not supposed to be. So, but the family need to, in the immediate, be conscious that there will be high cost of living, there will be increase in cost of items, which is why this topic is even very apt, which means a family must structure their expenses now.
Okay, so for those who, they have a particular stream of income, as an economist and a financial expert, how will you go about advising those who are yet to double their stream of income?
Okay. So the first advice would be, let everybody begin to see how they can even increase their earning capacity. Even if it's skill you want to learn that will not affect your current job, if you're a salary earner, if there are skills you think you need to develop yourself, train yourself. And if there are things that you know that, okay, even if you develop yourself, you're going to even help your earning capacity in your current organization, so that, okay, you might be promoted or your salary might also be increased. Those are some of the things you need to do. And for those that are self-employed, they also need to be able to see what are the other areas of line they can diversify into, so that to earn additional income.
Yeah. Now, in the lineup of family, we have the father, we have the mother, and we have the children. And a lot of things are creeping up. We have the financial challenges, unfortunately. And just as you said, this new reform has come, tax reform has come, and proper structuring has to be implemented by every family if you need to survive and also enjoy your peace of mind. But naturally, we are in a country where, you know, we have the culture of family involvement and contribution. When such arise, yes, you did say that your family members may not know your pocket. Why? Some excesses, as you said, must be naturally cut down. But in the face of true family challenge, which many did not foresee, it can occur anytime to anybody. Where should the family support come in? You get it? How should family support come in to elevate and to uplift this individual or this family that are struggling financially, you know, to have a balance in the face of a challenge?
Okay, so like I said, once there's a budget, and because for every budget there's going to be an allowance.
Oh, okay, because yes, exactly. What I really want is, we have a budget truly, but rather than streamlining or, you know, a straight-jacketed budget solely, how can, you know, allow, as you mentioned, how can it help, you know, finances in the home? Okay,
so like I said, budget is not cast in stone. There has to be a room for flexibility. And one of the ways it can help the family finances, one, it creates an atmosphere of discipline. Everybody's conscious that, oh, this is my expense limit. I cannot spend more than this amount on this item. I cannot spend more than this amount for this month, even regardless of what I earn. I remember typically when I started my career as a young banker then, I used to have a certain amount that I was saving every month that was deductible. Even when I left that same bank, moved to another bank, I was earning higher. Because it was a structured deduction, it was still being deducted. And if I tell you how the money was, by the time I realized it after 8 years, that's small for 5,000 that they were deducting as a small young banker. What am I saying in essence is, once a family has created that consciousness of savings and budgeting, also create discipline. Now you can support other family members. Yes, you can, but it has to be within the limits of what you have earmarked as for such support that you want to give family members.
Why should it be so?
The whole essence is we're all interwoven. There are some families that are closely knitted to you. There are some challenges you can't wave off as Africans.
Yes.
If your mom has a challenge, you need to support your siblings, your younger ones. But like I said, it has to be discussed among both the spouses. But support, yes, is something that must be taken care of. So it has to be something that you have budgeted as part of your emergency funds.
Okay, I like that.
And again, to also limit challenges coming is also good for such families to also advise the other families and tell them this is what we are doing. Also, so that you will not let other people's negligence turn to emergency for you.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. So you also should,
educate your other family members.
All right, thank you so very much. Now the year is still very, 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 very young. It's new. It's the 4th day in January, year 2026. For anyone who is, projecting into the year 2026 professionally, what advice will you give that person in terms of planning for the family? Now, I want you to put some, you factor some certain things in a family. Sometimes communication may not really key as the spouses expect. One may say yes and the other will sometimes negate it. So to strike a balance and to ensure that you have a wonderful year, that at the end you will have, you will reflect and you have reasons to appreciate the Almighty. How will you advise such families?
Okay, so like I said, the first thing is sincerity. The family should be sincere, and they must sit down and define the objective. What do we want to achieve in this family? Okay, this year we want to rent a 3-bedroom flat. Maybe they're in a self-contained before. Or this year we want to build our house. This year we want to move, our children are going to university. So there has to be a goal. Not even the budget now. The first thing, there has to be a family target for 2026. What do we want to achieve in 2026? What are the things we want to achieve as a family for 2026? Once that has been defined and agreed by both parties, they can now have a budget. Because that budget will now streamline and target the achievement of those goals. Because when the purpose of a thing is not divine, abuse is inevitable. But once they have a purpose for the family, which is the key thing, what is the vision of the family for 2026? What do you want to achieve as a family for 2026? Once that is set, they now set the final, because the budget is a financial plan to achieve those set objectives.
Aptly put.
Yes.
The budget is the financial plan to achieve those
family set objectives.
Very simple. So regardless of your income, if you're earning, just as he said, if you're earning 50K,
regardless of the amount,
regardless of your income,
the budget is even more important for low and irregular income earners, even than somebody that is even high income earner. It's critical, it's important.
It will save a lot of maybe future embarrassment, financial embarrassment. Yes, that is it. Okay, once again, I thank you so much for coming to the program, Mr. David Laoye. But before I allow you go, let me quickly take what you said in English. Let's hear it in Yoruba. Kí a tó fún yín ní àyè àti lọ ní orí ètò yìí. Ẹ sọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọ̀nà tí ètò ìṣúná ẹbí tí ó fi lè ní àṣeyọrí nínú ọdún. Ẹ jẹ́ kí ẹ rọra fún wa ní àwọn àpẹẹrẹ tí ó yẹ kí a tẹ̀lé láti rí wípé a ṣàṣeyọrí nínú ọdún 2026 ní ti ipa ètò ìṣúná ẹbí.
Àkọ́kọ́ ni gbogbo ẹbí gbọ́dọ̀ mọ nǹkan táwọn fẹ́ achieve ní 2026. Ẹbí gbọ́dọ̀ jókòó, ọkọ àti ìyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ. Ní ọdún 2026 àwọn kan báyìí la fẹ́ ṣe. Tó bá ti jọ gbìmọ̀ pọ̀, tó dẹ̀ jọ agree nǹkan táwọn tó fẹ́ ṣe ní 2026 yẹn. Wọ́n wá ní okay, láti ṣe lè ní 2026 o, iye báyìí la máa need láti achieve ẹ̀. And láti lè get iye báyìí, a ní láti reduce expense wa, or ilé báyìí la ní láti ṣe. That's the way they will be able to achieve it in 2026.
In 2026. All right. Well, that actually will be the size of our program this morning. Mr. Lawyer, I want to appreciate you,
Thank you so
for
much.
coming to the show this morning. It's been an educative moment, really, and you have, shed a lot of light on some of the gray areas. It is important to strengthen communication in the family when it comes to finances. It is also essential to be transparent and honest with each other and also with one another as family members. But before you go, what advice do you have for many out there, especially the young families?
Okay, so
just briefly.
The main advice would be that monies must be planned even before you start earning it. It must be planned, and you must budget all expense, because money goes on an assignment. If you don't send it on an assignment, someone will send your money on assignment for you. So that's why somebody else will spend the money for you. They will come, oh, we need to do this, we need to do this, because you have not planned it.
Because you have not planned it. Okay, so you have to plan. We all have to plan for the year 2026 to make it, a successful one. I pray that the Almighty will increase all our earnings and, crown all our efforts with His, good and wonderful things. When the year 2026 will be coming to a close, we all, by His grace, will testify to the goodness. It's not only by prayer, but by action. I didn't say that, but the expert here has said that. Okay, so on behalf of everyone who made today's production a successful one, I say thank you to you out there for, making it a regular moment with Lagos Television. Follow all our programs. We have it loaded for you to educate and to enlighten, and also to entertain you. Anita Buhari is my name. I'm saying bye for now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a fantastic week ahead.